Hello, this is Patrick at One CNC West, and what we're going to do in this training video is take a look at custom code. Now, custom code is a very powerful feature provided within all One CNC CAD/CAM systems. So what is custom code? Well, it's the ability to insert CNC code anywhere within your CNC program. In fact, as you're building your machining operations over here within the NC Manager, you can insert your custom code any place that you'd like. Now, you may be asking yourself, why are we taking a look at custom code for a lathe project that incorporates subspindle and main spindle? Well, it just so happens that an application like subspindle and main spindle is a perfect opportunity to use custom code. Now, there's two different ways to use custom code. Let's first take a look at the very fundamental, easiest way to use it. Let's head over to the Command Manager and select our stock toolpaths. From within stock toolpaths, at the very bottom, select custom code. Now, by default, you're going to see there's two different columns. There's a pre-made customs column and a custom column. Let's ignore pre-made customs for right now, and let's simply just type in some CNC code that we would like output within the program. I'm going to type in M01. With that done, I'm going to click Insert, and notice within the NC Manager, there's a new command here called Custom. So if I were to generate CNC code now, let's right-hand mouse click on the toolpath group, select Post Group. I'm just going to be using the default post processor. We'll select Post. I'll just use the default name. We'll click Save. And if we look at the very bottom of the CNC program, you're going to see the M01 that we defined within our custom code. Very nice. So that's the most fundamental way to use custom code, is to simply head over into the Command Manager, select Stock Toolpaths, Custom Code, and type in whatever you'd like. I might want to type in something different, maybe a comment like coolant off, and then click Insert, and that's going to be output right here. All right, now the second way to use custom code, and I think this is the most common way to use it, is to create custom code and then save it so that you can use it anytime that you'd like in the future. Let me show you how to do that. Let's head back over into custom code. And I'm going to delete what I typed in earlier. And let's select the New button. This means that we want to create custom code that we want to save so we can use anytime that we'd like in the future. I'm going to select New. And for the name of the new custom code, I'm going to type in Part Transfer Approach. Now, just like we did previously, we can type in the CNC code here. I happen to have some CNC code copied to the clipboard, so I'm going to right-hand click and select Paste. Now, I don't need all of this code, so I'm going to highlight the very end of that, hit the Delete key on the keyboard. All right, so you'll notice that for this custom code, I have a couple of comments, a comment at the very beginning of the code and a comment at the very end of the code. These comments are 100% optional. You do not need to use comments. However, for this training exercise, I think it's a good idea so that later on, when we output the CNC code, you can see exactly how the custom code's working. Here we have our CNC code, and notice that there's a couple of different parameters that are followed by question marks. Those question marks are to remind us that these characters are variables and that their values are going to change depending on the different part geometry that we're going to be applying our toolpath. So for now, we're going to leave the question marks there. We're not going to type in anything for that. We'll leave them there, and we're simply going to click OK. And what this does is this creates a brand new pre-made custom code that's going to be always stored within your One CNC software. So if I were to shut One CNC down now and open it up 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, I'm still going to have this custom code that I can use anytime that I'd like. Another important note is that custom codes will work for all post processors. They are not post processor dependent. Very good. Let's make another custom code. We're going to click New. And for this custom code, let's call it Part Transfer Retract. Again, I'm going to right-click, paste the information in. Now I'm going to delete everything at the very beginning. And you'll notice that this CNC code is similar to our first custom code example in that I have a couple of comments. Again, the comments are completely optional. I have our hard-coded CNC code along with a parameter that is a variable designated by the question marks. By the way, you don't have to use question marks. I just happen to use that as it works for me. I think that looks great, so let's click OK. Let's close the dialog box by clicking on the X. And now let's say it's 2 weeks from now and I'd like to use that custom code. To do that, head over to the Command Manager, go into your stock toolpaths, select Custom Code, and then select whatever you'd like. I'm going to select the Part Transfer Approach. Just left-click that until you see the CNC code. Once you see the code, you can click Insert, and notice now, instead of it just saying Custom, it gives us the name, Part Transfer Approach. Let's do that one more time. Let's go back into Custom Code. This time we're going to use the Part Transfer Retract. Remember to left-click that until you see the CNC code. Click Insert, and there you go. Now, because these are considered machining operations, you can really move these anywhere that you'd like. It's going to give you a lot more flexibility. And of course, you can rename them as well. Let's delete our first two custom codes that we created earlier. I'm going to highlight and select Delete Operation. Let's do the same on this custom code. Delete Operation. Yes, that looks great. Let's generate our CNC program now. I'm going to right-hand mouse click and select Post Group. As mentioned before, custom code is post-processor independent. You can use any post-processor that you'd like. For example, I may change this to the Haas post-processor, and when I click Post, OneCNC is still going to generate that same custom code. So if we scroll down to the very end of the CNC program, you can see here's our Part Transfer Approach code, and here's our Part Transfer Retract code. Now you're going to notice within the custom code, OneCNC output those question marks. That's fine, and you can definitely type in their values here if you'd like, but I want to show you that you can actually type in the values of these variables when using your custom code command. Let's do that. Let's exit out of the text editor, and we're going to delete our two custom code commands. Right-click, Delete Operation, right-click, Delete Operation. All right, let's execute our custom code. Head over to the Command Manager, Custom Code, and let's start with our Part Transfer Approach. I'm going to left-click until I see the CNC code. Now, I can type in information here, and it will be output within the CNC program, yet it won't affect the hard copy of the custom code, which means we can type in a value. In this example, the B variable is representing movement along the B axis. So I might type in something like, how about 3 for 3 inches? And then here I'm going to type in, how about 2.5? That looks good. And all I have to do is click Insert, and OneCNC is going to output those values we typed in. However, if we go back into custom code and decide to use that custom code again, notice how the question marks are still there. So we're not affecting the hard-coded or saved custom code. Let's do the same for Part Transfer Retract. I'm going to left-click until I see the code, and here for B, let's type in a different value. How about 5? That looks great. We'll click Insert, and now let's generate the CNC code for this. I'm going to right-click on the toolpath group, select Post Group. Again, this is post-processor independent. Just as a different example, why don't we use the Morisiki CY axis? Post. I'll use the same CNC program name. We'll scroll down to the very bottom, and now we have our custom code, and you're going to see now that the values have been output here. Custom code is a very powerful command and provided within all OneCNC CAD/CAM systems. That's it for this training video. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.